Up to 22 dead. And here we have the usual very poor footage below, very low quality footage. For some reason the picture has been duplicated, not too sure why. I'm guessing Lewiston is a small town in Maine, and I would have thought it'd be quite difficult to shoot 22 people in the evening, unless they were all lined up against the wall. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's unlikely. And I suppose this is just yet another of these staged events, armed and dangerous. Really? He's just shot 22 people apparently, and he's 60 more injured. I mean, you know, he must have a lot of bullets available. The car with the open door, as always. I mean, we're in 2023. You think this is the best kind of... Why don't they want us to see what this guy really looks like? Fuzzy images, as always. Always fuzzy images. People don't seem to realise this is not genuine CCTV footage, okay? Going into lockdown. The Las Vegas one, that was another fake story. Unfortunately, the media have the power to tell people what's real and what isn't. If the media say something is real, it's real. If the media say something is fake, it's fake. The public can't figure it out for themselves. And of course, it's all part of the anti-gun agenda, which is to remove guns from people. I mean, obviously, I myself, I have to say that I come from a country where guns are very hard to obtain. And I have to say that even though I understand Americans, why they need to retain their guns, I personally don't want my neighbours having them, because unfortunately I live in an area where a lot of people are mentally ill. And in America too, I'm sure there are just as many and perhaps even more people who are mentally ill. If you give mentally ill people weapons, then there is a risk that they could go berserk, which is why such a story, although this is probably faked, is plausible. You know, I mean, you know, I don't know how you would feel. Most people have guns to protect themselves from people who've also got guns. You know, if all my neighbours have got guns, then I must get a gun as well. But frankly, I'd just as soon as if none of us had guns. I mean, a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of people are mentally unstable. But frankly, I don't trust the government either. In fact, I trust the government probably less than I trust my neighbours, which is saying something. So I don't, much as I understand that, I know why Americans feel like they need to retain their guns, but but obviously, under the circumstances, because of America's falling apart, this is going through a collective mental breakdown and a complete economic collapse, right? And therefore, these kind of incidents are very plausible. You know, I mean, they say this guy's ex-military, and that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, if you kill other people because the government told you to kill other people, how is that worse than killing people because voices in your head tell you to kill them, right? Lewiston. I don't know. I mean, let me see how many people live in Lewiston. Well, my geography is really good. I've never actually heard of this place before, but it is apparently the second most populated place in Maine, which doesn't say much because Maine is a very unpopulated state, but it's still got 37,000 people in it. So, you know, it could, So obviously, you know, it's conceivable. Um, is it like, I don't know. Does this seem real to you? They can, but another thing, the other option is that they get someone who's mentally ill to, and it's also, it's a bit too cookie cutter. Apparently this guy made threats earlier. He'd been committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks and then released. Well, should he have been released? Apparently he was threatening, he threatened to shoot up a National Guard base. Really? And mental health issues, hearing voices. How convenient that. So they've got like, they've already created the scenario whereby this guy might be responsible for a mass murder. There seems to be a bowling alley here. So he went into a bowling alley to shoot people up. Legends Sports Bar and Grill. It's not particularly busy night, I would have thought. Wednesday night, is it a busy night? I don't know. I would have thought it's quite slow. There don't seem to be a lot of people around in this picture, but like I said, any half decent psyops team could come up with a semi-plausible. Well, anyway, I'm saying that it's very likely that this is faked, and it's part of the gun control agenda. And frankly, in many ways, I support gun control, but not under the current circumstances, because if you have a good government, a government of virtue, can't see any around at the moment, can you? Then the public probably wouldn't need guns to protect themselves. I don't believe that guns have. People have got this like romantic idea that, you know, they can protect themselves, but as a matter of fact, really they can't. I mean, the government can come at you at any time of the day or night using all kinds of different methods: directed energy weapons, rockets, missiles, helicopter gunships, armored vehicles. You know, they've got and also psychological warfare. They can hack you, impersonate you, ruin your whole life, and there's really nothing you can do to stop them. You can appeal to other people to help you, but they will not come. People will not help you. You're actually, all of us are, in the final analysis, alone in this world. And don't assume that your dog and your wife and your children will come to your aid. Unfortunately, they won't. In a scenario, in a shit the fan scenario, it's everybody for themselves. And most people don't want to. There isn't much honor coding in the world we live in. The people who create the money, the people who invent the money, can get the support of 99% of people. There are people out there who would do more for money than your loved ones would do for you. Right? Money is a more powerful incentive. Money and so on is a more powerful incentive than love for many people, for most people. You know? You can hire a hitman who will kill someone. What are soldiers? Hitmen. What are police? Private guards for the elites. The police don't really work for the public, do they? They work for the elites. They work for the people who control their paychecks. If the police don't do as they're told, the police will not have a job. Right? So my view is this is a staged incident. Obviously we'll have more details soon, more crappy photographs, more backstory, more demands by politicians that something has to be done. We can't carry on like this. You're right, we can't carry on. We can't carry on creating events in order to justify laws and regulations. It's the typical Hegelian dialect, as David Icke has said, the problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem. Okay, your job is to get people to give up their weapons. So what do you do? Well, you arrange school shootings and things like that. They're not real, but the public think they are. And then people say, oh no, you know what, I think it's time we took the rules. We can't carry on like this because, you know, these guns are getting into that. Do you think criminals, there are hundreds of millions of guns floating around in America. The only people who might be persuaded to give up their guns are no threat to anyone. However, if you're a bank robber or a gangster, you will keep your weapons. And that includes the military. Because what is the military? And after all, they're saying this guy is ex-military. He's ex-military. So what does that show about the kind of people who join the military? And also people who've been involved in the military. So some of these people have actually killed people. Some of them have killed lots of people. I don't know, I couldn't sleep at night if I'd done that. I'm so thankful that in my life I've never had to or wanted to kill anyone, you know. But once a person has done it, a bridge has been crossed, you know, and some people become psychopaths. And of course, it's another fact that people who've been in the military do find it incredibly difficult to adjust to civilian life, right? They do, and they struggle. And in Britain, and in particular, we have lots and lots of issues with our ex-soldiers. Why so many of them are homeless, you know? They can't adjust to civvy street. So let's see what happens next. My guess is that as this story develops, there'll be more details and more little snippets of data that it was his father's birthday or something, and he's a lifelong Manchester United supporter or some rubbish like that.